You want to talk about white privilege? I was born dirt poor. Roaches in our food, mattresses on the floor, eviction notices taped to the doors, kind of poor. My parents, their side hustle was beating me and my siblings bloody. I missed more meals than I can count. When we did eat, it was ramen, canned foods, or whatever we could steal from the gas station. There were 8 of us kids. Don't come at me like I grew up in some quiet backwoods town either. We weren't hearing deer rifles, we were hearing 9mm and Glocks on a nightly basis. Not because we were hunting, because we were dodging stray bullets in the inner city. I had a baby as a teenager, thought maybe I could break the cycle, went to college, flunked out quick. Life was swinging before I even had a chance to plant my feet. Then the military came knocking, promised me structure, a future, and a way out. What I got? Another flavor of hell. Straight out of basic, they shipped me to Afghanistan. 19 years old, couldn't buy a beer back home, but I could carry a rifle, kick indoors, and watch friends die in pieces. I came home to a wife who had cheated on me while I deployed, ended in divorce, missed my baby's first steps, first words, first everything. I got the title Dad, but only for 2 days every other week when the courts allowed me. So I drank, I numbed it out, I drowned it in alcohol and women, hopped from job to job, security, government contracts, even worked with the feds for a minute, but it all fell apart. I ended up homeless, ashamed, alone, and broken. Now, I've been sober for 4 years, been through more therapy than most folks can stomach, read hundreds of books, and here's what I figured out. As bad as I have had it, if I was black, I probably wouldn't have survived it. That ain't an opinion, that's truth. Black Americans make up 13% of the population, but 38% of the prison population. 1 in 3 black boys born today, they're expected to end up behind bars. That ain't by accident, that is policy. That's centuries of systemic racism passed off as justice. The 13th Amendment did not abolish slavery, it rebranded it. It says slavery is legal as punishment for a crime. That's why we got corporations making billions off of prison labor while folks inside earn cents an hour if they're lucky. That clause was written to target black Americans, and it's still doing exactly that. Now I run an organization called West Virginia Fights Back. We feed people, we take care of people. No strings, no red tape, no begging for scraps. We take care of our own because the government won't. My dream? A Fights Back chapter in every damn state. Abolish the prison industrial complex. Burn the cage down. Build something real in its place. Fred Hampton said, you can jail a revolutionary, but you cannot jail the revolution. This is not about shame. This is about responsibility. If you've had the privilege of not being targeted by the system, you've got the...
Wow, what a patriot. I'm giving credit to West Virginia Fight Back founder. This guy is a real patriot. After all he has gone through, he was able to speak up and speak for America and what America stands for. No matter your race, he's there for you. And you know, his charity feeds the nation right now. When America is going through food insecurity and people are being laid off for work, West Virginia Fight Back takes them back. And then look at what he had just said about the white privilege. He said if he was not a white guy, he would have been dead by now. He believed that the system is favoring them more. But then he was brave to speak for every gender in America, whether you're white, black, blue, or whatever color that you are. It doesn't matter to him. This is a real patriot. Anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video as we dive into the next clip. This young woman went viral after revealing how much she is struggling financially. Let's hear her out.
I won't be able to afford rent. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have basic household necessities, a couch, a bed, washer, a dryer. That's about it. A car. I don't have a lot of lavish things. I don't go on vacations, and I don't spend a lot. Rent's increased from $1,300 to $1,800. The food prices are too high. I've cut back on eating because I literally cannot afford food. I've cut back on my favorite snacks, cat food, treats. I'm exhausted all the time from being overworked and underpaid. You don't catch a break when you grow up poor. I don't need much to be happy. I just want to be able to live comfortable. I just really need to catch a break right now. I'm trying so hard and I feel like I'm not doing enough. I don't have family. I don't have anything to fall.
People don't understand how truly poor the American South is. I moved from Tennessee to California about 4 years ago, and I'm still paying for it now. We just don't have the money to move, and so I don't really meet a lot of people from Tennessee out here. The closest I find are really people from Ohio, and so now I'm a Browns fan. But I bring that up because that's an important component in understanding the political divide. It has taken a lot for me to understand that social programs are there for me to use them because for most of my life, there was not enough to go around. I remember the first time I went to a food bank and they gave me an onion, I actually cried. And not like onion cried, but cried because it wasn't required food. It was flavor, and that was a luxury I couldn't really ever afford. And then I learned that they had like taco seasoning, and oh my God, it was amazing. But when you're used to getting by on so little, and the only security you really feel you have is the ability to make a dollar stretch, it is scary to ask for help, and you wonder who you're taking it away from. So when people take aid when they're destitute as opposed to like nearly, I think people can jump into judgment because they probably need the aid just as much as the person who received it, and they're scared it won't be there when they're long past needing it. And guys, there's enough to go around.
This video is strictly for those who doesn't know that Americans are struggling right now. Everyone can attest to what is going on, that people are struggling right now to put food on their table. The more they try, the more things get harder. And this is driving a lot of people into poverty, which can lead to a lot of problems like crime, addiction, divorce, and homelessness. Let's hear what this guy has to say about the root of crime in America.
The root of crime is poverty. Crime is present in nearly all societies throughout history, so it's not just poverty. Some crime occurs because people just do crime. Greed can drive crime. But the majority of crime is driven by poverty and the conditions created by poverty. And though addiction affects all classes, at its core, addiction is also created by the conditions created by having an impoverished segment of society. The psychological drive to escape reality, things like social isolation, fear of losing social status, and feelings of powerlessness which come with having affluent parents. None of these things exist without the juxtaposition of poverty. Pause to read, but that's what makes bullshit like this.
Poverty's traumatizing. Like, I've been struggling. Welcome to the struggle bus. Population me. I work in public health, and I work with individuals who live in poverty. It is what it is. I actually love my job. Love it. Would do it for free if I could afford to. I'm middle-class cheap girl here. You see my posts about middle-class cheap girl outfit of the day. I didn't grow up middle class. I didn't grow up middle class at all. And I'm not talking working class, middle class, broke. I grew up poor. Like, poor. Poverty is horrible. It's horrible. It is a horrible place to be. There was a period with my parents where we were homeless. We lived in a tent. We stayed in a crappy hotel. We sofa surfed. I was probably about 15 at the time. You know, the panic of when the car starts making a noise. How are you going to fix it? You know, how is mom going to get to work?
if the car breaks down. Because even though we don't have much, we will lose everything if mom can't get to work. You know, brother is sick. Mom has to go to work. She doesn't get sick time, so guess who's staying home from school with sick little brother? You know, and it's never ending. It's like there's no escape. You know, you'll take 2 steps forward just to have 3 things hit you in the face. You know, you'll save a little bit money to have whatever breaks cost 4 times of the amount of money you were able to save. And you have nothing. You have nothing. You have shoes falling off your feet. You live in Narnia up here, and it's freaking cold, and you don't have a warm coat, and your fingers turn freaking blue when you go out and wait for the school bus. And then you go to school, and the kids make fun of you because you smell bad, because you don't have running water, and you're hungry because there's no food at home. And you're worried about your brother who is at home because he's not school-aged yet. And you worry about your mom because your mom's with an individual who's mean to her. And you worry about when you get home, are you going to have to listen to your stepdad talk to you about how stupid and lazy and no good, worthless you are, while your brother's running around naked, eating a can of cream style corn because it's the only thing that was in the house, and the heat isn't working in the house because nobody got the fire going, and all the firewood is still outside soaking freaking wet. So when you do climb it in with your no gloves and your no boots and your shoes that are falling off and your coat that isn't warm enough, you can't get the freaking fire started because the wood's still freaking wet. So you have an electric stove that you turn it on to heat with, and it doesn't really warm things. Then you finally, at the end of the day, climb into bed, and you feel something weird under you, and you look down, and there's a freaking mouse in the bed, because the mouse is just trying to stay warm too, so it climbed under the covers. And it's every day. Every day. There's no end. It's over and over and over, and there's no end. And it's like you're on a hamster, just running on a freaking hamster wheel, and there's never going to be anything different, and there's never going to be any change. And that is poverty. That's poverty. And I'm very thankful to be a broke middle class girl right now. You know, the groceries are pissing me off, but we have food in our belly. Tonight, made a zucchini chicken mushroom dish over rice, homemade Chinese food. I'm sad because I'm craving like takeout Chinese food. But we have money to make homemade Chinese food and skills to make homemade Chinese food. But just being in that conference just rips off the scab that is still there of poverty. The traumatizing scab of poverty. And I know most of the people I grew up with are still there. So I feel guilty too for leaving poverty. I feel so blessed that I had the chance to go to college and marry somebody who took care of us, who was a partner in life. But so many people I went to high school with never left it. So I'm struggling right now with guilt and sadness and panic and anxiety from American poverty.
There is no fucking American dream.
Because the American dream is dead. The average home in the United States costs $418,000. Do you know anyone making that much money? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that started a business that's not drop shipping or like some sort of AI gig economy? Like, do you know anyone that owns a store? Name 2 people. Do you know anyone that our age that owns a house that did not get help from their parents? Like, there's no jobs. All the listings are fake. Jobs don't even offer healthcare. So then you're on Medicaid, you get kicked off because of the big beautiful bill that just got passed. The American dream is dead. And then they tell you you're not working hard enough. Like, make it make sense to me. So props to this creator for just verbalizing that, because I empathize 100%. You're not doing enough. America's not doing enough for you.
Poverty in the United States is a choice. Let me explain. When you try to explain to people like the level of poverty in places outside the US, places like my home country, Cuba, Somalia, tons of places in Africa, they'll often respond and say, well, we have poverty in the United States too. which is nowhere near the level of poverty in the places I just mentioned, but I digress. And yes, we do have poverty here in the United States, but let me explain the difference. I'll use my home country, for example. It doesn't matter how much you apply yourself. It doesn't matter what you become. It doesn't matter if you study medicine and become a doctor. You will still be paid an unlivable wage. There are no opportunities no matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter what you do or who you become. You will always be poor. You were born destined to be poor for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, in this country, a lot of it is in our hands. It is up to us what we become and how far we get in life. And yes, there are a million exceptions, excuses, and genuine reasons for why people find themselves in poverty, caught in a cycle. Life is hard. It's not easy to make money. I get it. But you don't have to be dirt poor. You really don't. You don't have to struggle that badly. You can make it to a place where you and your family are okay. I'm not saying everybody can be Bill Gates, of course, but you do not have to be dirt poor. The choices you make can get you out of that situation in this country. And I know what you're gonna say. It's not true. People work so hard and they still can't make it and blah, 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 and you don't know, and etc. If you are in a situation where you are dirt poor and you find yourself having leisure time, watching TV, scrolling, hanging out, you cannot say that you have done everything you can to get out of that situation. There is always more that we can do. We can always try harder. And I can guarantee that if you try real hard, you can get yourself out of almost any situation in this great country. And that is why I say extreme poverty is a choice.
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
The American dream. You get up at 5 in the morning, rush to be out of the house at 5:30, try to make it to work at 6. You work a 12-hour shift. In those 12 hours, you take crap from your managers and coworkers. You eat at whatever time they say that you can eat for the amount of time that you can eat. You have sick days, but if you use them, it's frowned upon. So if you want to aspire to be anything within the company, try not to use them. Then you work until you're 62 years old. You pay bills until you die, and you're expected to be grateful. Forgive me, but it doesn't make any sense. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that I can go out to work to provide for my house. In fact, the Bible says that he who does not work should also not eat. So I'm in favor of hard work. What I'm not in favor of, though, is abuse. People putting their jobs in factories before their own health. When they don't need you anymore, you're gone. But if you want to leave, you better put in those 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a scam.
So I don't know if anyone has noticed yet, but America is getting super expensive to live in. Prices that were once maybe under $200,000 for a house are now in the mid $400,000 to $600,000 range. And I've also noticed that wages aren't going up. The wages are sticking to the same amount. You still have people out here who are getting paid less than $15 an hour. It's going to get to the point to where unless you're rich, you're not going to be able to afford in a house in America unless you get like some type of life insurance policy on your folks, or you get somebody to leave you some type of trust fund. If you're coming out of this new generation, you're not going to be able to buy a house. Your children are not going to be able to purchase a home. It's getting to the point to where things are just, the prices are getting outrageous. I just looked online and it's $18 at some restaurants for a hamburger. McDonald's no longer has a dollar menu. This is not the same America that we grew up in, to where people could achieve the American dream. Things are completely overpriced. Nothing's affordable. Groceries are through the roof. If you're renting something, rent prices are through the roof. Mortgage rates are at extreme all-time highs. It's going to get to the point to where nobody's going to be able to afford to live in a house in America. You're just going to have a lot of houses that are for sale that nobody's going to be purchasing.
Well, that was a waste of fucking time and energy I don't have. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm so frustrated. They tell me, oh, well, this certain level, something I've never heard of before in my life. It has never been brought to my attention ever in all of my medical history. Never has this level of this, whatever this stuff is, ferritin, whatever that is, has it ever been off? And she's like, usually these levels are only off because of liver disease, but your liver levels seem to be okay. Let's give you another pill, an appetite enhancer, even though it doesn't matter about the enhancing of the appetite, because it's the pain and the sickness when I do have an appetite and I do eat that's the problem. Oh, you're just gonna have to try to make it to your gastro appointment next month. Well, if my heart gives out, my heart gives out. Like, they don't care. Our system is so fucked that they don't care. I literally said, please give me a feeding tube, like anything. I'm just so over it. I am so over it. I won't give up. I won't quit fighting, but I've been fighting so long, it's exhausting. Like, they just let you die. They just let you die.
My dear, you're not gonna die, okay? Just keep pushing. For people that watch this video to the end, let's have a conversation. What people are going through in America. And I ask, is America still the land of opportunity? Yes, it is, but the way things are going now, Americans are seriously struggling. People are finding it very difficult to get by. They cannot even afford to pay their rent, mortgages, get grocery, and even afford healthcare. When you lose your job, you lose your dignity. Currently, homelessness has taken a toll in Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. According to government recent data, Los Angeles is showing a recent decline in homelessness, while San Francisco had the high rate in homelessness. Then New York is showing the largest rate of homelessness. Where is America heading to? One thing we have to take away from this video is that there are still people struggling in America, and then every country have their own way of struggling. There's people that go through hard time, and there's people who are homeless. So wherever you are, just encourage yourself and continue to do your best, and then maybe one day your hard work will pay off. At the end of the day, don't forget to like and share this video. Share your thoughts on the comment section. Until next time, and I thank you for watching.